Today we're taking a look at these NFL matches, which are happening on Saturday, October 29, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Detroit Lions vs Miami Dolphins. Neither team has set the world on fire of late. The Dolphins did manage to earn a victory last week, but it was hardly one would find inspiring. Scoring 13 points in the opening quarter was a strong start, but totaling only 3 the rest of the way, not to mention going scoreless in the second half, was less than stellar. Detroit, meanwhile, has dropped 4 straight games, and their league worst scoring defense continues to be a problem for them. The Lions have turned the ball over multiple times in each of their last 3 games, while getting outscored 101-51 in that stretch, including 53-6 in the last 2 games. It's tough to have faith in a Lions team that simply can't stop opposing teams from moving down the field. Give the upper hand to the visitors, even with the slew of injuries that Miami is dealing with at this point of the year. Miami hasn't scored above 21 points in a game in the last 5 games. In the last 2 games for Detroit, they have scored a total of 6 points, with 0 touchdowns. That likely won't change with Miami's better, but shaky, defense. Look at the trends, and it does shade under. Under is 6-1 in Lions' last 7 games after scoring less than 15 points in their previous game, under is 5-1 in Dolphins' last 6 games following a straight-up win, and under is 4-1 in Dolphins' last 5 games overall. Miami's PPG is 21 and Detroit's is 24. Look for this game to go under with these low flyers. Swim with the Dolphins, go under. Minnesota Vikings vs Arizona Cardinals. In truth, if you remove the 2 pick-6 interceptions last week, the Cardinals' offense looked improved but not stellar. Murray completed just 20 passes, and half of those went to Hopkins. The Vikings' susceptible passing defense will certainly swing the coverage toward Hopkins and make someone else beat them. Zach Ertz would seem to be one player that could help out, but he was targeted just 4 times in Hopkins' return after being targeted 10 times in 3 of the previous 4 games. The Vikings come in with a stronger passing attack and, like the Cardinals, won't shoot themselves with mistakes. The Vikings are rested and healthy while the Cardinals remain banged up, particularly in their backfield. A team off of a bye has gone 12-8 against teams that played the previous week. The Vikings will take advantage of more weapons and exploit a weak Cardinals secondary. Take the Vikings and lay the points, -3.5. Cousins has looked better under first-year head coach Kevin O'Connell than he did with Mike Zimmer at the helm, but he hasn't been slinging the ball around too much, either. Minnesota will look to control the pace of play with Cousins leading an efficient downfield attack against a weak Cardinals secondary. That doesn't automatically equate to 300+ yards and 3 TDs, though. As for the Cardinals, the under is 4-0 in their last 4 games versus a team with a winning record and 5-1 in their last 6 games overall. It's been a while since Hopkins, Murray, and Kingsbury were all together in a meaningful road game. Last week, the Cardinals moved the ball on the ground, but they can't rely on Eno Benjamin to produce in a similar fashion against a Vikings defense that's been solid against the run. If you're expecting the Arizona passing attack to gel on the fly at Minnesota without a complementary running game, you're wishing on a star. Bet the under at 49 total points scored. New York Jets vs New England Patriots. The Patriots do not look like the Patriots teams of the past under Belichick. They struggle in areas that they used to shine in. Too many penalties, poor special teams and turnovers. The Jets, meanwhile, have been doing all the little things well this year as they continue to build their roster into a playoff contender. The loss of Hall stings, although RB Michael Carter is a solid replacement and Robinson is bound to get some touches out of the backfield as well. New England, 1 week after completely shutting down the Browns' ground game, was gouged by the Bears. Mac Jones looks like he'll return as the starting quarterback, but he has not looked sharp this season, holding onto the ball too long and committing far too many turnovers. The Jets will keep this game tight and, in a complete role reversal, will be the more effective team late in the game to pull this one out. New England's inability to protect the football will be their downfall once again. Take the points, plus 2.5, and the Jets. New England's offense is coming off a poor performance against Chicago, but overall the Patriots are 17th in total offense, with an average of 341.1 yards per game. New England averages 122.6 yards rushing, which is 12th, and 218.6 yards passing, which is 21st. Quarterback Mac Jones has passed for 799 yards with just 2 touchdowns and has been picked off 6 times, while backup Bailey Zappe has passed for 781 yards with 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Ramondre Stevenson has 487 yards rushing with 4 touchdowns to lead New England, and Jacoby Myers has caught 33 passes for 355 yards and a pair of touchdowns to lead New England in each category stop. The total has finished over in 6 of New York's last 8 games played during the month of October, and in 21 of the last 31 that the Jets have faced a team with a losing record. New England has seen the total finish over in 4 of the last 5 games overall, and in 7 of the last 10 games when playing against a team with a winning record. New England is coming off a game in which the Patriots allowed 33 points to a below-average Chicago offense. Take the over, 42 points. Houston Texans vs Tennessee Titans. Last Saturday, the Titans beat the Colts 19-10 as a 2.5-point favorite. Indianapolis outgained Tennessee 292-254 in total yards, but Tennessee won the turnover battle 2-0. Derrick Henry ran the ball 30 times for 128 yards, and Ryan Tannehill completed 13 of 20 passes for 132 yards. Tannehill is questionable for Sunday's game, which means rookie Malik Willis could potentially make his first career start. In 6 games this season, Tannehill has completed 65.1% of passes for 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and is 24th with a 40.8 QBR. The Titans are 21st in the league, averaging 19.2 ppg and 31st with 274.2 yards per game. The running game leads the way with 108.7 yards per game, which is 20th, while the passing attack is 29th, averaging 165.5 yards per game. The Tennessee defense is 4th in the NFL, allowing just 96.8 rushing yards per game, but 31st, allowing 277.5 passing yards. The Texans are 28th in the NFL, averaging 17.7 ppg. They are 25th, averaging 310 total yards per game and 209.3 passing yards. Quarterback Davis Mills completed 63.8% of his passes with 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and 28 with a QBR of 36.1. Rookie running back Dameon Pierce is having a great year, ranking 6th in the NFL with 504 yards and has averaged 4.8 yards per game. Houston has allowed 22.8 ppg. The defense is dead last, allowing 164.7 rushing yards per game and 21st, giving up 247.2 passing yards, placing them 31st overall in total defense. On the surface, getting the better team here for less than a field goal seems like a bargain, but the line moving from -3.5 to -2.5, despite 77% of the tickets being on Tennessee, has me on alert. The Texans have had the Titans number recently, covering the spread in 7 of the last meetings in Houston. This will also be a tough spot for rookie quarterback Malik Willis going on the road against a division rivalry. The Titans are also due for a letdown here, as they are in the driver's seat in the AFC South and have a road matchup in Kansas City on deck. I will grab the Texans here at home, coming off a game against the Raiders where they played much better than the final score indicated. Houston Texans plus 2.5 points. Although Davis Mills is a likable player, he does not represent the future of the Texans at the quarterback position. So far this season, he has a touchdown-interception ratio of 7.5. However, he has thrown for 1,350 yards and has completed over 63% of his passes. Dameon Pierce leads the ground game for Houston with 504 rushing yards on 106 carries and the only 3 rushing touchdowns on the team. Brandon Cooks is the other bright spot on the squad with a team-high 28 receptions, while Nico Collins has the most receiving yards with 305. As a team, they average 310 total yards of offense per game, which ranks 7th lowest in the NFL. They are 8th worst in passing yards per game, with 209.3 and 9th worst in rushing yards per game, eclipsing just over 100. With the November 1st trade deadline fast approaching, the Houston Texans should be looking to sell off some of their pieces for a rebuild. I believe Tennessee will take command of the game throughout, with Derrick Henry feasting on a porous Houston rushing defense. The long, grueling drives will tire out the defense of the Texans, and I believe the Titans will put up at least 24 points. Davis Mills will lead the team into some garbage time points against Tennessee's awful passing defense, and thus hitting the over. Week 8 is a special week for the Titans and the over. In their last 4 consecutive Week 8 matchups, the Titans have hit the over. They are also 6-0 in their last 6 at hitting the over on the road against a team with a sub.500 record. The Texans have hit the over in 5 of their last 6 games following a straight-up loss and are 4-1 at covering the over in their last 5 home games. If you need any more assurance, the two teams have hit the over in 10 of their last 11 contests together in Houston. Take the over 40.5 points.